if you are a foreigner dating their daughter, you are somehow responsible for all their problems and that you need to find solutions for them. They are constantly on their phones, taking selfies, taking pictures of the food, and then posting to social media right there while on the date. So, what do foreigners struggle with when dating a Filipina? Well, today's video, I will cover 5 points that foreigners struggle with and that you as a Filipina need to be aware of. And if you are a foreigner watching, you need to understand what you might be looking at when coming here. So the first thing is time. Time is an illusion, said someone in the past. And for some Filipinas, it certainly is. However, for most foreigners, it is not. They abide strictly by the clock, while we Filipinas do not. And for example, if a party starts at 7 p.m., we show up at 8 or 9 p.m. Even when dating, we are typically always late. Foreigners struggle with letting go of their obedience to rigid time. So when they set a time of 7 p.m., it means 7 p.m., not 7:15 or 7:45 p.m. So foreigners struggle with this, and they might even drop the girl. As an example, my husband, of course, before meeting me, he would order a coffee or a tea at the time he was supposed to meet a date, and if she did not show up by the time he was done with his drink, he would just leave, as he find it very disrespectful. The next thing that foreigners do that can destroy a relationship is tampo. And as you will know if you follow my channel, tampo is basically the silent treatment. So if the woman is a nagging hag, well, maybe the foreigner will enjoy the tampo. I'm just joking, but seriously though, if you have a good communicative relationship and you do too much tampo, this can lead to bad outcomes for both parties. So why do Filipinas do this? Put your comment down below and let us see. The next point is pressure from the family. Some families seem to think that if you are a foreigner dating their daughter, you are somehow responsible for all their problems and that you need to find solutions for them. And this can show up in many ways, like from the financial to the emotional. There will be pressure on your girls for many things, and here are some. Like, for example, pressure to meet the family. The family will pressure the girl to meet the foreigner man. And of course, the agenda will be the next pressure point, which is the marriage. There will be pressure from the family for her to marry you, or you are being pressured to marry the Filipina. The reasons for this are many, but can be summarized as security. The family might feel that this is how they can secure their own future, or it simply might be that they want their daughter to marry a good man. The next one is communication issues. Filipinas can be very quiet as we are very feminine, and unlike the modern Western women, we know not to be loud and obnoxious in our way of being. However, sometimes this is taken to the extreme with these girls, and they only speak when spoken to. Meaning, you ask them a question and they will only give you a very short answer or even just a nod of the head. It is almost like you have to drag the words out of us. So, a lack of dialogue in the short term might be okay because, well, you are having fun in many other ways, right? But in the long term, it gets boring, I reckon. Also, some of these girls have limited knowledge of English and their vocabulary might be limited. So they have a hard time expressing themselves. So if this is the case, you have to be patient and help her learn and adapt to you. Of course, it depends on the girl because this might happen in years or never. The next issue is a family member showing up at your place. Now, this can be a real issue if you live close to your family. We Filipinos are a tight-knit community and we just pass by without calling ahead, and we share our foods with family and friends. So we kind of act that way sometimes with foreigners. And I know you guys are not used to this, and you can find this very rude when family is always passing by. Of course, this is an easy one to solve. You just have to set clear boundaries, and if those boundaries are broken, tell them straight up that you are busy and that you don't have time to entertain them. And when you do that, make sure it's only you and the person you are talking to, because you don't want other people around as they might lose face, and that is not good in the Philippines. Which is the next point, the losing face. What does this mean? Well, it basically means being disrespectful to someone while others are around and observing it. This is about the worst you can do to a Filipino and has actually led to people being killed. Never, and I mean never, do that here in the Philippines. If you need to say something bad to a person, pull him or her aside and lay it out in a respectful and clear way. Never ever shout at a Filipino in public. We can be like elephants. We might let it go there and then, but we will never forget that disrespect. And you will end up paying badly for it. So please be aware of this. So if you are in an argument with your Filipina, just think about the losing face part. Anything bad you have to say to her, make sure you do it in private. The next thing some foreigners struggle with is social media. We Filipinos are avid users of social media, often to the detriment of relationships. You will be surprised when dating some girls that they are constantly on their phones, taking selfies, taking pictures of the food, and then posting to social media right there while on the date. You might struggle with this as a foreigner, but then again, you need to set boundaries. Do not allow social media to disrupt your relationship. The next thing is, of course, you might know this, but our way of eating is that most foreigners use a fork and a knife while eating and can be shocked when they see people eating with their hands. They might even perceive it as backwards, but you have to remember this is part of our culture. We do use a fork and a knife, but for most part we prefer to use our hands because we have this saying that food just tastes better when we use our hands. And I think it's because of some ingredients in here. But seriously though, this is part of the culture. So don't be shocked or think less of the girl. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I really do appreciate it, all the support that I get from you all. I can't thank you all enough, and thank you again for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Stay safe.